Hi, and welcome to NT201. I want to just take a few minutes to introduce you to the course here in Canvas. I'm not going to get into a lot of details about how the overall course structure is in Canvas. You should be familiar with that at this point, as we've been in Canvas for a few terms now. But I do want to just kind of bounce around a little bit and hit some of the high spots here, so that you know where some of the more important things are. Of course, one of the more important sections of the course is the announcement section. You want to make sure you keep an eye on that on a regular basis, because I'll post important information here, and I do hold students responsible for any information that is posted in the announcement section. So, not seeing it is not an acceptable reason for missing something. So make sure you keep up with this. As a matter of fact, you should go into your personal settings for Canvas and make sure that any announcements are being copied to your email. That way you we'll have those there as well, and that'll help make sure you don't miss anything. So again, make sure you keep an eye on this section. I've already got a few things populated here, but there'll be a couple more by the time you guys get into the course. As far as navigating our course, I find it easiest to use the syllabus if I'm just going directly to assignments. You can see that they're listed in order, and you can click on any of those links to get to them. However, as you're going through the course over the next 7 weeks, you'll want to make sure that each week you start out by going through the modules, because this hits on all of the topics that are covered for the week, and a lot of your learning materials are in here, your learning activities and things, in addition to the textbook to the course. And then, of course, you can access your assignments for each unit through the unit module as well. And then over here below that, of course, you can access different assignments directly by clicking on these links, like the discussions, the weekly assignments, or the quizzes. So that's pretty much all I want to cover here as far as Canvas. One thing I do want to hit on, and right now as I'm recording this video, this document doesn't exist in NT201. I'm currently having it added to the course, so I can't show you exactly where it'll be here in NT201, but in one of the modules, it will either be in the Read Me First section or Unit 1, you will find something that looks like this. And this page essentially is some NetLab instructions. There's an embedded video here. You want to make sure that you watch that video. That gives you information on how you use NetLab and to do your assignments and stuff. And then there's information here about accessing NetLab and different things. So read over that, and then a couple of attached files that you'll want to take a look at. So this is very important. NetLab is where you'll be doing all of your assignments this term. Essentially what it is each chapter in your textbook has activities, and some of those activities, sometimes it's all of the activities in the chapter, but more often than not we leave a few of them out. But as you're going through the chapter and reading, you'll see the different activities, and those activities are the ones that are assigned are what's in your weekly assignment. So when you get to your weekly assignment, and let's look at one real quick here. I'll go to the syllabus, and let's look at Unit 2. And you'll notice here there are some instructions, but what I want you to do each time that you go into one of these assignments, I want you to scroll down to the bottom. You'll see 2 attached documents here. Okay, one is the lab guide with examples, and one is just the lab guide. If you open up the lab guide, this is what you need to complete your assignment. This is where all of your screenshots will go. So if you open up this assignment, you'll see that all activities that are assigned are listed here, and there's a note about completing the entire activity, or if you're only completing part of it or whatever, and then each bullet point is where you're getting a screenshot, and so you want to make sure that you get the required screenshot with each activity there. If there are any special notes about the assignment, those will be listed in red, like each assignment, the administrator password, just a reminder for you, is up top in red. That is the administrator password for all of your labs. And then if there are any special instructions with any activity, maybe the wording in the activity, or more likely a PowerShell command is not quite right or something, then I will note that in the activity itself, and it'll be in red, and I'll give you the correct syntax for that PowerShell command. So as long as you don't see any notes about making adjustments, like here's one on activity 3.4, you're supposed to complete the entire activity and provide the following screenshots. And then here, there's obviously some sort of an adjustment that you need to make, and it says when you get to step number 6, you may already have a test user 1 account in the operations OU from a previous activity. If so, just use that account and move it to the users folder in AD, in Active Directory. Same thing for test user 2. Make sure that both accounts are enabled. So that's just a hint for you there, and a suggestion so that you don't run into any problems in completing that activity. Down at the bottom of every assignment, you'll see that it'll kind of summarize how many screenshots you need to have for that assignment. So again, this document is what you will use to complete your assignment. When you start doing your activities, you'll open up this document, you'll save it to your local computer, and then as you get your screenshots, you can paste them in. So like in this example, if I was ready to put in my first screenshot for activity 2, I would click here, I would hit enter, backspace to remove the bullet point, backspace again twice to get back out to the left margin, and then I would paste my first screenshot in there. And that screenshot is supposed to show the 4 organizational units that you've created. So so you would then paste your screenshot here, and then you move on to the next one, and when you get to that one, you can do the same thing and paste that screenshot in there. And so that way your assignment's very well organized and all your screenshots are labeled. You want to make sure that your screenshots are labeled, because if they're not labeled and they're out of order, you're likely not going to get a good grade, because if I can't figure out what it is, I'm just going to not give you credit for it. So remember to use this document. Okay, the other document that was attached is a lab guide with examples. This is extremely important. You want to open up this document as well as you are working on your activities. This document shows you exactly what all of your screenshots should look like. And your screenshots need to match the provided examples. So when you get to activity 2.2 and you're going to get your screenshot, you want to make sure that your screen looks like this, and you'll get the screenshot and then paste it into your document. So obviously yours will not have the do not copy watermark or whatever there, but your screenshot otherwise should look identical. So for each assignment that you have this term, there is this lab guide with examples that shows you what each and every one of your screenshots should look like. Okay. Looks like this document here is missing one example. Not a big deal. If you run into something like that, don't worry about it. Just get the required screenshot. But I think for the most part, you'll see that 98% of the activities throughout the course, you'll see an example screenshot provided, and you need to make sure that yours looks exactly like that. Okay. Okay, so again, and what I would do, I would suggest kind of ignoring these instructions here in Canvas. They should be correct, obviously, but again, just use the lab guide, and that'll, and just follow those instructions there, and that'll give you everything that you need. Okay, so I think that's about all I wanted to cover here. Again, make sure that you read over this page with the NetLab instructions and watch the embedded video. That's extremely important. Once you've got a handle on that, you should be in good shape. And again, remember, your weekly assignments are the activities that are assigned from whatever chapters you're working on each week in the textbook. If you have any questions throughout the term, please don't hesitate to reach out.